As the year draws to a close, there is one bit of good news for the Middle East. The Islamic State in Iraq and Syria terror group has been flushed out from its holdouts, its murderous grip over the region now over. But just as ISIS' sudden rise took the region by surprise in 2014, this year saw several shocks of a different nature. Several countries led by Saudi Arabia cut off diplomatic ties with Qatar. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman staged a bold anti-graft purge, and U.S. President Donald Trump declared his country's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The region's problems are not new: bad governance, poor education, huge disparities of wealth, a sense of injustice about Israel and the tragic fate of the Palestinians, plus a population bulge which creates surplus labor, largely unemployable. What is new is that nobody in the Middle East or outside it has either the resources or the inclination to deal with these, or even contain the region's troubles. The Israeli-Palestinian conundrum was never and is not a core problem, notwithstanding the latest expressions of Islamic solidarity after Mr. Trump's controversial decision on Jerusalem. But the Palestinian issue provided the glue around which Arab governments could coalesce, now largely dissipated as they are engaged in their own fight for survival. That in turn is due to technological changes such as cross-border TV, the internet and social platforms which allow ordinary Arabs not only to know how badly they are doing in comparison with others but also to mobilize and express their grievances, coupled with the decline in the importance of the Middle East for the rest of the world. The shale revolution has provided many more sources of oil and gas, and electric cars will squeeze the consumption of fossil fuels even further. Although the Middle East remains an important supplier of energy products, it is no longer a crucial one. That means the appetite of outside powers to intervene in order to uphold a measure of stability has dissipated. It is now fashionable to blame Mr. Trump for his cack-handed approach to the region. But it should not be forgotten that it was his predecessor Barack Obama who decided that stopping the Syrian government from gassing its own people or preventing Sunni Shiite bloodshed in Iraq or Yemen was not something which engaged U.S. power. As Mr. Obama's former CIA director and Defense Secretary Leon Panetta ruefully admitted once, the former president's record in the Middle East was one which avoids battle, complains and misses opportunities. And the U.S. place is filled by other players, all of whom guarantee more, rather than less, mayhem. Take Russia, whose spectacular return to the Middle East over the last few years has been one of the biggest strategic surprises. The Russians have very specific objectives, connected largely to their desire to play again the role of a global power and to defend the Syrian regime, but they have no interest in promoting region-wide stability, regardless of the pious speeches from Russian President Vladimir Putin. The same applies to Turkey, another key and rising player.